Okay, continuing on. Got Heim this time. Nothing to really change loadout-wise, so there's that. Also, yeah, these two are just kind of permanently here now. Whatever. They've been permanently there a while. I kind of wonder if, what's going to happen after going back in time. Ooh, what is this? Are there always three? Yeah, whatever, let's go for this one. I think I always just forget that there's three. Or maybe there's usually two, and the three is... No, this is definitely a first-time run, so... Maybe the game just knows. Yep. That is perfectly sensible. You should all do that. But they all decide to stay because they're like, oh man, honor and crap. This is the tragic route. Oh well. Oh well. And they're not wrong. This is definitely going to be overwhelmed, especially if they're going to come at us one at a time. Also going to put this on fast forward, just because it's going to take a couple rounds to get past that dragon there, and then they're just going to slowly float up and annihilate everything. All things considered, this party is extraordinarily overpowered, especially after their convenient recent buffs. But yeah. Over-leveled, overpowered, over-equipped, and, I mean, their equipment isn't going to make that big of a difference, really. But they're definitely overpowered. Mostly just because I believe a lot of their stuff scales a lot better after you get past a certain threshold. I mean, they can still get hit, still get harmed pretty well, as you've seen. Just the sheer amount of stuff that they can do has gotten pretty ridiculous, so I'm not terribly worried about any kind of harm coming to them. I mean, right now we're just in a great position because, well, they're easily getting to surround anything coming towards them, and have a nice little counter for them. So, it doesn't end up mattering very much how strong they are. There we go. Can't really do much with that. How about that? No, that's gonna actually hit him. Oh well, have somebody go from over here. Handle it that way. See? Not a problem whatsoever. This party is just very well suited to a lot of situations, just because everybody can potentially switch roles at any time without any real detriment to doing so. Their only downside is extraordinarily poor defense, so if that should become a factor at any point, they are a little bit screwed. Actually, the end boss sounds a little bit terrifying, but hopefully we'll be able to do some shenanigans with that. Oh, sweet! I forgot that that's a new ability now. So a lot of casters apparently will now have the ability to make somebody be able to ignore elevation for a little bit. Should be pretty cool to see. Franciscan. Not quite to the point of having Speed Star. Whatever. Whatever! When he burned through all the conversation topics last time. What gives, brain? Okay, I really like that he has that. They can just ignore stuff now. Makes them having witches and warlocks and crap a lot more relevant, because, you know, they can do some of that cool support stuff. Yeah, this is really cool. Now they can get a lot of their heftier units out up front where they need to be. I'm sure that wasn't directly intended, but it's working out very well. As always, I apologize for the little bit of chipping and chopping. This kind of comes with fast forward. I just figure, you know, might as well get the entire castle in one go. Just smack with a shield, I guess. You know what? Silence should totally disable Beastmaster abilities. I can say without the shadow of a doubt that not being able to give commands to the dog, they would just completely do whatever the hell they wanted. Sniped. That's not to say that they're like a misbehaving dog or whatever else. I just mean, you know, you end up giving them a recall command as soon as they're doing something that they shouldn't be, and they're like, oh, crap, I need to pay attention now, I guess stuff's going iffy. And, yeah, that's when they get back into, where they need to be, but not being able to talk might put a little bit of a hamper on that. Although, actually, that being said, no, that's not always the case. Like, from my perspective, that's what it seems like it would be, but you do hear about a few dogs occasionally that are actually that are selected for special training, which is pretty much just different types of sensory deprivation of different kinds that they're just trained to address it. So, like, I guess mute, deaf, and that sort of thing. Like, just a bunch of different stuff that people can potentially have, and they're trained to respond and act and generally protect their new owners, just under all kinds of different circumstances. That was a really weird emphasis that I put there, but no, it's interesting. Like I heard of one that went through that training. It was one of the trainers that we had run into. My wife was telling me about it. I'm like, man, that is one ridiculously smart dog. She was telling me that, yeah, they have to be a really special one to be able to do all that stuff, though. Because they have to be able to just never lose focus. Which is the thing, they're good for different stuff, but they won't always be universally good for different situations. Like, for example, the one that we're raising right now, she has a lot of what they call initiative and all that, so when they're training her for all her proper training and all that. Oh, by the way, there's one of the things I misunderstood. So Lancet actually gives your health to somebody else. It's not what I thought it was. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. That's not a terribly good thing, so we're just gonna rob this guy, I think. Hope for a poison. That did more than the kill move. But no. So, like, in that case, because they want to, like, get up and go, one of the things that they'd end up having to work with them a lot would be just the fact that they need to keep themselves a little bit more calm and all that. But potentially they might end up being far better at their job because it essentially involves pulling somebody forward. It's not like a direct pull like you would usually assume it, but it's like a very light tug forward in a particular direction in a way that kind of conveys their surroundings, so to speak. It's kind of hard to explain, but generally speaking, that's what it's like. That's what it's like, man. I'm trying to explain stuff while half asleep. Ah, dang it, I think somebody's gotten themselves locked out. Somebody yelling in the hallway. We have some annoying neighbors. I don't mean that in a mean way, I just mean, like, in general. We've gotten a lot of new neighbors recently, and it's less than pleasant. I don't know why I chucked a rock there, whatever. Actually, why can fairies still chuck rocks? Not sure. Not sure at all. And talking quietly. Alright. Wow, nobody even needs this. Okay. Fine, you just kind of hang out here. You run and smackerate this guy. Guy's tough. Jeez. I'll say this would definitely be a much more reasonable fight with a different party. They're pretty impressively competent. You know what? Perfect time for this. Wait, you not... Dang it. They don't have it. Okay. Alright, so I got a nerf. Fine. Do this. No, not do that. Alright, whatever. Eat her. Gnome. This is lagging like crazy, though. Gonna have to be the last part for today. Do 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 do. Yeah, okay. That right there. I just can't get over how awesome that is. Alright. Alright. Technically nothing gained there, just transferred. They will counter with nothing! Wonder if that's also a bug. Feels like a bug. I'm not sure that there's anything that can really be done to fix that, though. Okay, so, just about done here. These guys are gonna switch over to more of a nuking sort of mode. You do that, you do that. Yeah, no. Get rid of her, because she'll probably start transferring health over, which is a little bit of a problem. Rather that not happen. Man, that is a waste of your abilities. Fantastic. Okay. Use slash. It's not ideal damage, but it's quick. Phone is all acting, and I think that's Mr. Rakes talking about equilibrium. Because that discussion has been ongoing as far as not failing as hard at that one. Because there's a bunch of stuff that I actually don't know about it. I'm not terribly good at that one. Which is not really surprising, you know. I think I threw that disclaimer out there enough times. Yeah. Honor's a little bit dumb in this situation. Although they did find ways of getting around that back in the day. Which is, in many ways, I suppose, this whole getting rid of the leader thing. Because by and large, you know, it was kind of this whole situation where a lot of castles under siege were usually given a choice of, like, everybody gets out and gets relocated and everything's all well and good, just give up your stuff here, or nobody does. Presumably everybody else ran away. I'm like, oh no, we got overwhelmed by some crazy robo-fairy. Moving on. Your march-ons, it really doesn't, but, you know, do as you will. Yeah, I'm fairly certain that's who that is. Because it's dinging and dinging on the computer and dinging on my phone. Right, this is the one with all the debuffs. Okay, so they all have 8s, so none of them can do their first round barrages. Well and good. Oh, crap. Okay. Golems with Ascend. That's just some tricky stuff right there. Alright, you do. Still you need Paramedic, I think. Just spread it around. Yeah, Rapari doesn't have it at all. Pew? Pew. Okay, so once again their knight is at their heads, so that's pretty sensible. Funny note about this, comparing this fight to the original. The SNES version, I should say. Actually, come to think of it, that was the PS1 version I'm thinking of, more so than the SNES version, which they're the same thing. I don't know if there's any AI differences. But this little chunk right here was a major problem to deal with. Like, I distinctly remember that being an ever-present problem. Ended up losing like 4 or 5 units going up the stairs here, because they actually made a like proper little kill zone here. There you go here, smack it by, problem solved. Man, so many angles of attack, it's wonderful. You just can swarm and swarm and swarm and swarm and swarm. They like Middle Eastern food, they'd probably like shawarma. Har har har. Actually, you've got a bow. What am I even doing? Actually, do you just have reflect, or are you using shield? Yeah, you are using a shield. Alright, cool. I really like the reflective shields. It's nice to see them around. Toots can go over here. I'm really surprised that we haven't lost anyone at all this run. They've taken a couple injuries, but that's it. Oh, well, crap. Apparently, I've been using weapons in the wrong roles for equilibrium. Well, dang! I didn't know that there were crossbows, but that's pretty cool. Alright, good. Mr. Latimer wants to run down and fight in the front. That is entirely his call. Because this entire level was made for him to not do that. Well, they've only got the one healer. I think. Let's see. This map reminds me a little bit of an XCOM thing. For the Enemy Within remake. There's one of the maps that was in that's like this graveyard map. The layout of the plants kind of reminds me of it, which is weirdly specific, but it absolutely does. That one's kind of nuts. It's extremely difficult until you get mechs, and you can just essentially punch a hole in a wall and go through it and just take everybody by surprise because it's just a convenient little entrance you can get to. The nice thing about having static maps, they're like little arenas you can take advantage of, since, you know, the game's already ridiculously unfair, so you might as well make it fair. And I'm a little surprised that I don't hear stuff about that genre in general come up more often. Because it's literally an entire genre whose entire thing is just everything's unfair all the time. Deal with it. And dealing with it is the entire game. Yeah, just go after this one. I have this wave to deal with. I'm gonna have those three, and the leader squad I'm gonna go ahead and call them. Don't think it should be too big of a problem. Don't see anything that would indicate that they would be. Now you got a 2. That's not even worth it. The 3, however, should scale much higher. Man, I'm gonna have to call these guys the Flying Knights of Heim. Do a little bit of a lag swap there. Good job, Steve. His Steving skill improved. Okay, so those ones are going to hang out up there. Interestingly, this is one of the few cases I've seen where the AI seems to consistently do a particular thing, which is that those guys block the stairs. And it made me wonder several times when I saw it if there was an intent for that kind of feature to be around more more prevalently with the AI, because it's, I mean, it's obviously in there, then in some cases they hold very particular spots, it's just, it almost never comes up. So, I don't know, I'm still kind of weirdly hopeful for that one announcement all of a sudden where he's like, hey, I found this button that makes all the AI smart now. Can make them all sit on particular tiles up until a certain point and that kind of thing. And it seems like they have lines that they follow. Like in a lot of maps, like specifically Karitnai comes to mind, if you stay back on your side of the bridge, they'll never send more than a couple units, and in some occasions they will just flat out not send anybody, so you do have to end up going forward. Which, again, all the time in the original, pretty much every single map as far as I recall, if they're a defensive map of any description, they would just stay and hold their particular spots without trying to risk anything needlessly. So, I feel the whole reason that they ended up doing that in the remake, though, was just largely because a lot of the units, you know, were more competent in terms of what they could do. Granted, you know, that wasn't always the case. But just by and large, it was better to have them doing something than nothing. Potentially they could do stuff from range. That was the intention anyway. And then it seems like it ended up changing at some point. I probably don't even make much sense right now. It has been an iffy day. I've had no sleep and this coffee's wearing off. Get over your coffee. Need more of you. I don't know why it is that black coffee wakes you up so much more than any kind of sugary variety. Alright, you're silenced. Oh yeah, so I guess technically I don't think these two particular video groups merge at any point, but yeah, as far as the AC tournament goes, well, Crossback over there was eliminated pretty early on. There was one guy that I was really not expecting to make it all the way, which is this guy called Adu. He's basically the basic mech that you start with, except somehow even more downgraded. And for whatever reason, I don't know what I did differently with his AI, I don't know why he's so freakishly lucky on top of it, but the guy just seems to dodge absolutely everything to the point where he actually got into second place in the entire freaking thing, and I was putting him against everything in the series, was putting him against all kinds of stuff that he had technically no chance to win against, and he didn't even lose at the very end. I mean, technically the tournament's not over, it's far from over, but... Squish. But he basically dodged every single shot and then just time ran out before he could actually win the fight. And by dodged every single one, I mean he was just like conveniently right between different shots the entire time. Like the AI doesn't even know how to do all that crap. It's just ridiculous luck. They just called him the patron saint of luck after a while. Or the patron mech of luck. Because he has nothing. He has absolutely friggin' nothing in terms of options. There's nothing at all that would make this guy remotely even viable. Yeah, we'll just do this. Actually, you know what? We'll probably drop a heal, I think. Because Crossback here could use it. But okay, so... to explain what I mean by not viable. So everybody else has something. Like, there's a bunch of different kinds of sources of damage on that whole thing, but the system works roughly like this. You have your AC, whatever it is. The combination of all of its parts gives you an AP total, which is basically just health for all intents and purposes. And then everything incoming is modified to a certain percentage based off of location. To some degree, it's questionable when location even matters. It's more... I think it's less location and just more the amount of time that something is lingering on its hitbox or something like that. It's kind of strange. But yeah, in some cases it varies, in some cases it doesn't. But all of that incoming stuff is essentially reduced by the score that they have against a particular thing, of which there are 3. So you have shell, energy, and heat. So heat has its own defensive thing that's just a radiator. Basically, it handles it in different ways, whether you want to accept, a high running temperature to potentially, let yourself do some cooler things and potentially leave yourself slightly more open to overheating, or, other ones that just keep it completely cold all the time, but potentially drain you of energy all the time, kind of thing. There's a ton of different options, like everything that you could possibly want as far as customization on that is there. The point being, if something's shell or energy, it just kind of goes and checks it against that stat and gives you the remainder. If something is heat, it does absolutely nothing up to a certain point, and then if it breaks that limit, whatever it is, for however long it takes for the respective part to deal with how bad you're overheating, essentially you're just bleeding off AP that entire time. So that's kind of the long and short as far as, how the defensive stuff works. So, this inviolable guy in question, he's got pretty much, functionally as high as you would ever really need for shell, which is fairly normal. Your starter thing almost has that as it is. Pretty much nothing as far as energy, and very little as far as heat. That's not really why it's inviolable. It's mostly inviolable due to the fact that it's got almost no offense whatsoever. You have a ton of different weapons in the thing, but he only has the basic rifle and blade that you start with, which is pretty much the equivalent of showing up to a fight with, against a tank with a friggin', fork and BB gun. It's just not very good. But yeah, against all odds, just everything seems to miss him for some reason. And, yeah. He still has yet to properly lose, for whatever reason. And, we'll see how that ends up finally going. You know what, if he ends up being to come back and actually potentially even winning the tournament, I'd be genuinely impressed. Personally, I think he's probably gonna end up running out of luck sooner or later, but hey, you never know. You never know. Okay, let's move you down here, I think. They're at a healing element here, so might as well just barrage him and call it a day. Says he can't be stopped. The fact that he's being stopped determined that was a lie. And they're building stuff. Awesome. Can't go a day without some hammering or some furniture being moved around or anything. That wasn't really an unexpected turn, it was more you were unexpectedly given the ability to fly and ran yourself in front of your lines, which I guess wouldn't have made much of a difference because they got completely wiped out before you got there anyway. Whatever. You didn't have enough dudes. Yes, they're at a table. And then it's the hall, which is a pretty short fight, so let's get this done. Alright, so Dark Knight's piss off. And then it's Branton. Given his health, he's gonna be tough here. It's the nephew wars. Now, I say this should be a pretty short fight. Basically, the entirety of their group here. So, everything that they use is either a caster and therefore really squishy, or has awful resistance. Because they've got gunners, archers, and terror knights, so all of those should just completely crumple like nothing. Not as easily as they would in vanilla, all things considered, but still. And then the others, the healing element's gonna have to go. Morn himself is gonna be a little bit difficult, but such is life. He's functionally what should be the last boss. Also, Ascend will not be as threatening here, but I do love that it's actually getting some use. These gunners might be a problem, though, depending on their accuracy. I don't know how accurate they are now. Seems like the archers can't land their shots, so that's fine. Okay, yeah, he's gonna be a problem. Okay, daggers do acceptable amounts. Surge does better, but we might as well do daggers and then reserve the 3s for running at the front there. It's got some cool music though. I think I'll just let it play. Lambert. I don't know, he's one letter off from being a Legend of Dragoon character. Are we offing Lavitz early? I think it's Lambert or something. This is before he picked up a basketball, I guess. Or maybe post-failed basketball career. Oh, well, that's one down. They're just gonna make them all fly. Alright. Yeah, so first round is getting dedicated to that. Second round is going to be dedicated to ignoring them. And going after midline, I think. Because this should pull their healers forward, I would figure. And the archers can go second round, and then after that healers, probably. Healers or casters. Dang. He's a friggin' crit machine. Okay. Okay, that's bad. Yeah, I think they're safe to be ignored now. Yeah, I love that poison can't miss anymore. Makes them far more reliable with it. Forgot that he had that ability. Okay. Yeah, so it's been down a little bit. Might be a little bit of a waste of offensive potential, but I want at least one of those healers gone. Could be going for a mute, but let's see about getting Thomas here gotten rid of. 'Cause he's a little bit in the way. But one of their squishies has presented herself as a nice tempting little target here. Dang. Would have been nice to have that be a double crit. No such luck. Oh well. That's one gone. Health-wise, I think Steve's the only one in trouble here. Good lord, man. You do enough damage there, bud? Alright. I think I'm just gonna use this. Let's use that to heal himself up. The traps are kind of the omni-use free ability. Just collecting those cards that's a problem. Okay. I'm actually going to keep him without using Speed Star and then go stun one of their healers next round, I think. Yeah, you remember this fight in Vanilla? How friggin' easily the the entire front just crumbled like nothing? Notice how they've actually lasted a few rounds now. For that matter, doing proper damage here. And keeping themselves afloat. Good stuff. Actually formidable. Okay. Gunners are a little bit of a threat here. Oof. Not as much as him, but still. Kind of almost getting into falling back and just dealing with these front guys' potential. Dang it. Okay. Well, April's gotten through. I can start hurting the healers a little bit. I know one of them had some shutdown abilities here, or at least this. Well, he doesn't actually need to use it, so it's fine. Or whatever. Started doing some shutdown. Also, apparently only one of those can actually trigger now. This is what I think if you're actually holding a front line in place. Okay. Dandy. Okay, there's a very real possibility of actually... Yeah, there we go. This should be the shot right there that determines the fight. Because now the front line can go down because the back line is injured. Yeah, give me that one. Actually, no. Go over here, rob this guy. Why? Just because. Just because. You know, I wish that this had, like, a bit of a bigger RNG feature. Because I'm thinking now, like, if you've ever played Binding of Isaac, there's an item in that that basically generates random tarot cards, and it'd be kind of cool if the Booby Trap ability just kind of put a random trap down. Like, if you had some alternate version that made, like, a trap 3 times as strong, but you don't know whether it's good or bad. Like, oh, I'd like to have a full heal trap. Oh, wait. It just nuked half the party. Sounds like fun. And again, I'm one of those weirdos that loves RNG to a pretty absurd degree. At least the fight is worthy of its sweet music now. Alright, you save that brimstone for next round. Yeah, their front line's done here. There's really no coming back from this one. Ooh, especially now. It's not as impressive as I thought it might be. Do I just want to heal? I think I might just want to heal. Yeah. Pumpkins! Ah, that delicious pumpkin pie. Yeah, they've got no answer for the ones I've got next to them right now. Right. Probably should have had him do a cast. It's fine. Ooh, jeez. Freaking more in the laser cannon over there. Just want a picture of just like a Branton in the friggin' hall here with a just plasma cannon. Oh, that'd be awesome. Doesn't actually have any powers. He's got that alien tech, I guess. Oh crap, we actually lost one. It's fine. Yeah, spread it around a little bit. I know it's ineffective against him, but it's something. I'm just wearing that part down for now. Got those, but this one's a priority target. Okey-doke. I mean, the argument could be made that that's your most reasonable decision, but I don't know. Feels like you could have done a bit more harm risking your 50% than just going for poison at this point. It's not like it's ineffective or anything, it's just doesn't feel like your best choice. Oh well, those choices are kind of running out. Guy's actually pretty beefy even on vanilla. It's actually a little bit unusual to see too, because you get here on vanilla and it's like, okay, well, the rest of these guys are super easy, and then this one old man is just vaporizing dudes. What's going on here? And I'm still not having Vin shoot for reasons that are completely nonsensical. Oh well. Fight's already over with. Until Morn here suddenly wipes the party. Shame about all your healers. Alright, checkmate. Yeah, I could. But Steve's turn is coming up. Does he have the movement range? Doesn't even matter because he's got his axe. Alright, whatever. Let's get them a little bit of bow practice. Explode that. Wondering what I'm doing. I kind of want to see what happens if Steve robs him. Boom. Yeah, you know what? Those guys are legitimately scary. Okay. You poisoned your leader. Good job, pal. Well, unfortunately this guy decided to be a dick, but... oh well. Fight's done. Can't be. Well, there's a lot of impossible things happening today. Well, you probably didn't expect a swarm of mosquitoes to take your castle, so fair enough. In like half an hour, no less. And then plot happened. They're like, yay, Steve's our king now. And then Hanging Gardens, so that's gonna be the last part. Grimsby, I'm just gonna go ahead and skip because there's really no point. It actually might be worth doing POTD now because I forget. I don't know if you need to do it a second time if you haven't gone down there the first time to get the Fire Crest. I don't really have a need to get the Fire Crest, so there's that. Also, before I forget next time, since I inevitably will, these, sell them all. These probably also sell them all. Or at least mostly. Yeah, sell all the heavy stuff. I can't use it anyway. Not really as much as I would have expected, but that is 33 pocket exorcisms. So. Alright, there we go. So, next time, kind of sort of endgame sort of situation. I've heard somebody say that, honestly, the Hanging Gardens just feels unnecessary, considering usually Heim is going to be whatever your end boss is. Feels like it could have ended there, and they just felt like we need some big baddie at the end. I don't know. Hanging Gardens is a weird ending. So, moving on.